Miguel Adrien returning here at the iBop Vaults, and we're going to go right into a boxing video blog. Obviously, boxing, June 19th, June 20th, a lot of action sitting out there. A couple of lines already popped up at the books, and we're going to get into them. The Bell Center up in Montreal, Canada, has got some exciting stuff. Obviously, the vacant IBF World Middleweight title on the line with David Lemieux facing Hassan Nadal. That line is not up at the books yet, and neither is the Schiller Hippolyte Kevin Thomas Kojin 12-rounder, but the Adrien Jerry Belmonte's 10-round fight for the NABF lightweight title is up at the books. So let's take a look at that fight. Basically, what you've got there is you've got a crush fight for Adrien. Adrien, the local from Canada, minus 1,500. Belmonte's the veteran at plus 700. And we will see. We will be back at the Bell Center when the rest of the lines get popped up. We've got a full 12-fight card up in Canada. So you can look for this fight to get additional odds, or this card to get additional odds that pop up here. Staying with the theme of boxing, obviously, we're going to head over to the MGM Grand in Las Vegas on NBC. So a nice card popping up here. Main event is Shawn Porter, Adrien Broner. Really tight fight. You like to see a main event like this where the line is, right now the line favors Porter at minus 120 with Adrien Broner returning at plus 100. So very interesting fight. Very tight fight. Both guys really sort of need a win. You know, Broner still hasn't really recovered from the Maidana loss. He's had a couple of wins since then, but nothing high profile. He's coming back to welterweight where he lost to Maidana, and we're going to see if he can actually compete at this weight class. He didn't do that well last time. Porter, coming off the loss to Kell Brook, where he lost his world title, has been on the comeback trail. Also, looking to keep winning here and get back on it with, and this is a fight where there's a pretty even talent. Porter, long-time welterweight, may have a little bit of a size advantage, but he's a stocky guy, so I don't expect that to play too much into it. That fight's well worth watching. In support of that fight, over at the MGM Grand, they got veteran Roberto Garcia, a big underdog at plus 600 to Errol Spence Jr. at minus 1,200. Fight's a 10-rounder. Spence Jr. undefeated at 16-0. He's the prospect. Garcia, he's been with the Premier Boxing Champions broadcast a couple of times this year, had a fight canceled, came back, did a fight where he was heavily favored. Now it looks like he's the setup guy for Spence Jr. The last boxing fight that's up at the books right now is over at the Oracle Arena, so a couple of fights out on the West Coast, and you've got all-world Andre Ward making his comeback. He's at minus 6,000 favorite over England's Paul Smith, who's at plus 2,750. This fight airs on Black Entertainment Television, BET, so definitely worth watching. Got a lot of fights on TV here with the NBC broadcast of Premier Boxing Champions. But getting back to Andre Ward, Ward's an interesting character because several years back he was in the top 10 pound for pound and, heading to fight for number one, basically. One of the most skilled boxers you'll see. The last American to win a gold medal at the Olympics. But on the other hand, Ward went through some trouble with his promoters. He's been off for more than a year. He's now on the plus side of 30, so he let a year of his prime go by while all the promotional stuff worked itself out. We got a situation here where they're not giving Smith a lot of credit, and they're not, discounting any points from Ward for the long layoff. Smith is coming off a series of hard fights against Andre Abraham over in Europe. Abraham, obviously one of the super middleweight champions. Smith gave him all he could in the first fight, so much so, even though he lost, so much so that he got an instant rematch. Abraham did a lot better in the second fight and put him in his place. Smith, 35-5 overall. He's towards the end of his career. I don't blame him for taking big fights here, but if Andre Ward is just a fraction of what he used to be, he's going to be all right in this fight. So we'll see. Smith, hard-nosed. He's going to take punishment. There's no over-under on this one or any of the boxing yet, but that's worth looking at because, Smith is a guy who will drag this fight out 12 rounds if you give him the chance. Ward, kind of methodical as well. He'll knock you out if you give him the chance, but he won't take many risks. So check the over-under on that one later on. Obviously, we will get back into it when the over-unders pop. We will also expect a lot more fights to coming up this weekend. Those are the first four that are out there now. So check those out, and we will see you after the fights.